Chairperson Doug Breskin. To my left, we have Vaughn Dugan, Roger Murray, Kathy Barnard, Jane Nielsen, Brad Harriman, and Julie Jacobs. Prior to this meeting at 6:15 this evening, we had a site visit for the ADU application for Peter and Carol Llewellyn at 6 Ronald Road, tax map 130-8. In attendance was Vaughn Dugan, myself, Roger Murray, and then Kathy Barnard and Julie Jacobs were able to visit independently. The first item on the agenda is a preliminary design review consultation, site plan review for a storage shed at the Three Sisters Country Store, 160 South Main Street, tax map 218-103, with Natabar Bnai Patel. Would you like to come up and introduce yourself and give us a rundown of what you want to do? You can bring that mic close to you. And I don't know if it's turned on. If you could bring the mic around the side to bring it closer to you.
You need to be really close to it.
So my Indian name is Natwar Bhai. Everybody call me Rocky. And just in January month, I buy this store. And the backside, I wondering make it storage room, sir. Mm-hmm. So I give you everything information and for permission for storage, make a storage room, sir.
Very good. Could you describe what it is you like to do? I understand it's a shed, but with regard to the dimensions and the structure of it?
Yes, sir. Backside make 14 feet by 40 feet, sir.
So the plan says 40 by 12.
Yeah, 40 by 12.
Okay.
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
12.
Is there any storage there now? Is there a building back there yet?
Sorry, ma'am?
Is there storage back there now?
Backside have a just empty spaces right now. Nothing have anything.
Nothing.
Backside my inside like ACs. Backside 3 compressor. Backside.
On your plan, it looks like there's a dotted line that may indicate a setback, the side lot setback from the property line.
Vaughn, could you bring your mic a little closer?
Oh, sorry. It looks like there's a dotted line around on the back side of the property and the sideline that I presume is a setback line.
Yeah, it's like my property line, totally something like 16 feet, right? Yeah, totally 16 feet, but I make it 12 feet, so borderline have a space.
And the setback line here looks like it goes through the 12-foot addition. Is that correct? I don't know, does anybody offhand know what the setbacks are in this area?
For commercial, I don't believe there are any setback requirements at all.
So that is not a setback line? Right. It's a dotted,
The dotted line is the property line, it's 16 foot off the back of the building. And
Could you come up to the microphone and introduce yourself, please?
Sorry, sir.
Well, but this plan,
I'm Paul Esker, I'm going to be the contractor to build it. The property line is 16 feet off the back of the building. We were informed by the code officer that you can build to the property line when it's commercial, but he chose to keep back 4 feet. So he's only going to build out 12 feet where, I mean, he could build to the 16, but he's choosing not to. He wants to leave a little buffer.
and do you know what that dotted line indicates?
I put the dotted line as that should be the property line. That's why it said 16 feet,
So
Can I look at your plan?
Yeah, sure.
I mean,
Here's the property.
Here's the property.
Yeah, Vaughn, I think that dotted line is the edge of pavement.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's the edge of the pavement.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Actually,
it's-
the pavement in the back is 40.
In the upper left corner, you can see it labeled edge of pavement.
The pavement in the back goes 14 feet, but they're showing it on the map as 12 feet. We actually measured it.
So
So,
you're saying that,
as far as your record shows, he just wants to go over the pavement,
so you're saying
the
the
existing.
pavement goes all the way around the building?
Pavement goes, there's a little piece in the back, if you look at the building, in the back left, there's grass, but the building is gonna go over all the pavement plus maybe 10% of grass. There's a little patch back there where the air conditioners are, so he's gonna move them and then come alongside them.
Okay, and you know you have to submit a site plan application, and we have to hold a public hearing? Okay.
Yep, yeah, we met with the lady downstairs and she set everything up for him.
Okay. all
That's
right.
why we're here, just
Yeah, okay. Okay, all right, very good. And also you'll have to come to the technical review committee meeting.
okay.
But they'll notify you of when
Right.
that is, okay?
He has the other 2 meetings already set up, and I believe she's already done all the paperwork for him. Because I think there's a meeting, I don't remember, when was the second meeting? When was the second? October? Yeah. It might have been, yeah, the second meeting might be downstairs at 9 o'clock on the 15th, I think.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
and then the next one, 9th.
9.
And then the planning,
Morning,
then the
9.
final planning board is 11 to 5.
Right,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
But she's already supposedly has it all set up.
Oh, okay, good.
The idea was to come here and see if there was any issues with it first.
Okay, and we're going to have to take a look at what the building addition is going to look like,
Okay,
because we have architectural design standards that we need to follow.
on,
Will there be any lighting involved in the storage shed as well? Exterior lighting?
the only lighting will be the existing lighting.
Okay, so no
Yeah.
additional lighting?
No additional lighting, no additional electric, no plumbing. It's just straight storage, standard 2x4 construction. We plan on keeping the building's vinyl sided. Just keep it right in line with the rest of the building, so it doesn't look like it stands out.
Will
Just blends in.
Will it be heated?
Would it be what?
Will it be heated?
No,
Okay.
not at this point. And I don't believe he's looking to put any sodas or stuff like that. It's all paper goods and products and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Am I seeing that there's a door leading from inside the store to inside the shed?
right. The back door, the existing back door will be the entrance to it.
Is it going to be exterior entrance to the shed?
At this point, we weren't planning on it unless the committee wants one.
I just envisioned when it says shed, like shed.
No, it's, yeah, but I call
You
it
know,
a shed
outside
because it's
garage.
storage.
Are there any windows in the shed?
Weren't planning any unless the
All
board
right,
wants
so-
them.
No, my only concern is with a single door into that space, there may be an issue with fire egress.
Okay, well, we could put a window in or put a door.
You
We
can
would
go over
just-
that, you can review that when you have the technical review committee. They'll
Right.
give you
Okay.
all that
Yeah.
advice.
Right.
But I suspect that you will need a second means of egress out of the
Okay,
room.
that's fine. I mean, as far as he's concerned, it's just shed. We were trying to think nobody could break in.
Right, but you just closed off your door.
Right, yeah.
Vaughn,
We could put the door and just put a lock on it and hope, nobody breaks it.
as far as the architectural design, if it looks like the existing building, will that,
I don't see why not, but
Yeah,
I would,
okay.
I think we should still see some kind of
Yeah.
a drawing of what it is, or at least description of the materials put down somewhere so we know what we're expecting.
Yeah, no, we can do that.
okay, all right, great.
At this point, we were just told, just leave the dimensions and size and what it was for.
Are there,
Yep.
are there other means of, other than the front doors, are there other means of exit from the store?
That, Anything else? What do you have? Just the front and
Linda,
rear
do I
door?
have to do something?
Yeah, just the front and rear door. So if we do close in the front door, we can add another door so they can get out.
Yeah, my guess
That's
is
not
that
a
the
problem.
fire department will require that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, we'll find that out on the 9th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
great.
weren't planning on it, but we wanted to make sure,
Yeah,
Well, that's why we're having this
Yeah.
meeting now.
right?
All right, very
okay,
good.
we'll see you the 9th, and
Oh, question, Roger?
Yeah, on the plan that was submitted, it says propane tank, scale shed, fence, and pump shed to be removed for snow storage. There is a propane tank there. The aerial photo makes it
There
look
is a
like,
propane, it's not gonna be removed.
it looks like it's off the property.
No, it's on the property. It's right on the edge. Sal put it right on the edge.
My other question is that the area, the 5 feet where it's expanding,
Right?
is shown as snow storage area.
Okay. Well, it's only 5 feet of, like,
Well,
16 feet.
Yeah, but you're taking 5 by 12 feet deep out of your,
Right.
and if the propane tank is here, you're gonna have a problem putting snow storage there, and if you're required to put a door in, you'll have even more of a problem.
Well, the door would probably go on the 5-foot side, not on the 12-foot
Okay.
side. But we could put the door going out the back as well, where there is no problem with snow.
Except when it slides off the roof.
Well, yeah. So they have to shovel a little.
And I guess my other question is, since this is an expansion, does that mean there needs to be an increase in the parking?
In the what? I didn't hear you.
Parking,
Oh, in the parking. Well, it's just storage, though. There's no,
but
I'm trying to think. It's not an expansion of the building, it's just storage.
Well,
know-
it's storage, but it's still an expansion of the.
Oh, well, yeah. I meant not like he's using it for retail space. It's to take the junk that's piled up inside and kind of nice and neatly put it outside in the building.
okay,
You know,
but, yeah,
make the inside more appealing.
okay, but the stormwater drainage issue you're going to have to address.
Okay,
So you probably want to take a look at the regulations.
And if you have any questions about that, you can go into the planning department and talk to the planner
Right.
who's there on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and she can advise you.
okay.
Okay.
but we will need a plan that meets the requirements of section 173-15 of the site review regulations, and if you want any waivers, you'll need to put those in writing
Okay,
and present them.
okay.
Any other questions from the board?
Thank you for coming.
All right, thank you.
No problem. That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, the next item on the agenda is for the Wolfeboro Bible Fellowship.
We need to appoint the,
Not there yet. The next item on the agenda is the Wolfeboro Bible Fellowship. However, because of a notification issue, that's been postponed to the next meeting.
so you want a motion for that?
So do we need a motion for that?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to postpone this hearing until October 15th, 2024.
I'll second that motion.
We need to,
We're not going to hear anything about it.
right, and it's going to be renoticed anyway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
All right.
Vote.
So
1, 2.
if there's no other discussion, all in favor of postponement?
aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good, thank you. The next item on the agenda is a conditional use permit for an accessory dwelling unit for Peter and Carol Llewellyn at 6 Ronald Road, tax map 130-8, case 2024-05. Jane Nielsen and Julie Jacobs, would you be willing to sit in on this as we
Yes.
don't have
Yes.
the full board? All right, thank you. And if the applicant would like to come up and introduce the project, please.
Hi, My name is Carol Llewellyn. I live at 6 Ronald Road, and we would like to add on to our existing single-family house.
Could you get a little closer to the microphone?
I'm sorry.
You can bring it around the side if you like.
How's that?
Very good, thank you.
Okay. Now you hear me breathe.
Well, don't breathe.
Yeah.
Okay, you've never had an accessory dwelling at this property, right?
I'm sorry.
This is a new accessory dwelling, and you
Yes, it
haven't
is.
had one before. And I was just going through the questions. Will the ADU be located within the single-family dwelling or attached to the dwelling? Can you explain that to us?
Explain.
The accessory dwelling that you intend to build, will it be within the existing dwelling, or are you building onto the existing dwelling? Could you describe that for us?
Okay, so if you look at the side of our house, we have a lower driveway. It is going to go on that end of the house. It will be probably a little smaller than the width of the current house, and the peak will go less than the current. And the reason it's being bumped in is so that I can have the same pitch on the roof. It's drawn so that it looks all one level in the front and in the back, but it won't be. It's going to be offset. So it'll be a little bit smaller as far as the width goes. So the maximum we have is 15 feet, so that we meet the requirements for the wetlands. And we're going to go, the width of the house is actually 26, but we're, like I said, we're going to step it in, so it'll probably be around 24. So,
And there's going to be an interior door to the existing dwelling from the...
yes.
Okay, all right, great. And the proposed addition will be 780 square feet, which is less than 30% of the dwelling.
Yes.
Okay, and you have ample parking. You have an extra
Yes.
place for the parking. And are you the property owner? Will you be living on the premises?
Yes.
Okay. And let's see. And you have the septic system.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
The New Hampshire DES approval letter was included in the application package.
Right.
So I noticed that the plans indicate a 26-foot addition, and you're suggesting 24 for
Yes.
aesthetics. I think that's great, but the plans don't show that.
Yeah, in order to have the same pitch on the roof, I was advised after these were drawn that it would have to come in to achieve that goal. So,
So I think we should probably have an updated plan to show, the stairs, for instance, are going to be pushed back in, and,
yeah, well, it would come in 1 foot from one side and 1 foot from the other,
oh, okay.
so.
Oh, so it's not going to be flat across the front then, it's going to be jutted
No,
in?
it'll be inset approximately 12 inches.
Yep. That'll look nice.
I think so. I've seen some additions that make me shake, and I don't want that.
Okay, well, it seems to be a complete application.
Yes.
I make a motion that this application be considered complete.
I'll second. Second.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, take it as complete. And we will open the public hearing. Would anybody from the public like to speak to this application? Hearing none, we will close the public session. Is there any discussion amongst the board?
Do you feel like we should require another set of plans that shows it accurately?
Yes.
But does it need to come through us, or just we can request it and that it goes straight to building permit as being adjusted?
I think our criteria are met, but it's not what we're doing here. The plan is not accurate.
So we could include as a condition of approval having an updated plan.
Right. Okay, well, I'll make a motion to approve this accessory dwelling unit with some conditions. First of all, that we need to have an accurate plan of the unit. The CUP must have active and substantial development exhibited by the issuance of a building permit within 24 months after the date of the planning board approval. This then allows the project to be exempt from all changes cited in 671:39(1) for a period of 5 years. And then another condition, appeal process pursuant to RSA 677:15. An aggrieved party may appeal this decision to the Carroll County Superior Court within 30 days of the date the board voted to approve or disapprove the application, or to the ZBA pursuant to RSA 676:53 within 30 days of the date the board made its decision.
All right, I'd suggest an amendment to that, Kathy. The
Okay.
correct citation for the first written condition in the planners is 674:39.
Oh, didn't I say colon? I thought I said.
You said 671, it should be
Oh,
674.
okay. Oh, all right. Sorry about that.
That's all right, I just want to make sure we record it
Okay.
accurately. And I'll second that motion. Any discussion amongst the board? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, you have your
Okay.
approval.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the next item on the agenda is for Starlight Development Group LLC, a two-lot subdivision at 116 Middleton Road, tax map 268-22, case 2024-09. This is the formal submission and public hearing for this case.
Good morning.
Good evening.
Good evening, yeah. It's been a long day. If you don't mind, if I can pass out some copies, because they don't get to you guys after the TRC, I don't think, but
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing that.
Thanks, Randy.
I was looking at it myself. So, the front page is
Thank you.
second page has colored one, both sides, flat plan and topo. And the third sheet is, I threw in there because the previous subdivision plan, we had talked about at the last meeting. About what the right way to go. Okay, so I passed out copies of the amended, strong word, after the TRC. There was a couple little things that we fixed from our previous design review meeting. Let me back up, and my name is Randy Tatro, Norway Plains. I'm representing Starlight Development LLC, which is the owner and the applicant for this two-lot subdivision. It's a 5-acre lot located at 116 Middleton Road. We came before the board on a pre-app before we applied formally.
Since then, we've gone to TRC, a couple of comments at the TRC that we used to amend the plan. The most obvious one is we put a little easement in there for the existing pole line on the advice of Barry, MED director, because he just had a prescriptive easement before that. That was one of the comments at the TRC. There was some comments at the previous meeting about the topography being a little better shown and not blocking out the access way and existing right-of-ways. This application isn't requiring any waivers. Because both lots will be under 5 acres, even though they have municipal water, and both require NHDES subsurface approval. In this particular case, we've done test pits on both lots. The test pit logs show on the topo sheet, I think in the upper left-hand corner. It's been submitted to the state. I expect to get it back within a week or so. And then other than that, monumentation of the new lot corners would need to be done to complete it. They both have existing permitted driveways. I got a planner review at the late hours today, and one of the questions, one of the suggestions, or one of the comments was to show the sealed surface or the impervious coverage for the 30% coverage on each lot. I kind of thought that was more of a no-brainer on this one, but I did do the calculation, or I called back and had someone do the calculation for me. But the 4-acre lots, obviously, you can look at it and see it's not 30%, it's like 5%. The smaller lot, the 1-acre lot, comes out to about 15%, so that's about half of the 30. So just,
Okay, so they both comply.
They both comply.
Right, okay.
The form factors are on there, both pre and post, shown on the plan. And that's pretty much it for a presentation. You guys can ask me whatever questions you'd like. Any questions from the board?
Yeah, I have a question. When I read section 174.9 of the subdivision regulations and subsection A, it says, in the absence of municipal wastewater system, minimum lot sizes in all subdivisions shall, in addition to meeting the requirements of the zoning ordinance for the district where the subdivision is proposed, shall also meet additional lot size requirements as may be needed for each lot to ensure groundwater quality protection, and then they're listed in the table, which I couldn't find. But I don't find any exception just because you're on municipal water.
Right. So the required lot size for in the 1 acre per that soil type is like 60,000. We can go half of that because we have municipal water, so it's only 30. The lot size requirements did show on the state plan. I can certainly add them, but they so far exceeded it. That's why they're not on here, especially the 4 acres. Because 4 acres is,
Yeah.
But, I mean, we can show a lot size table. I thought we had that on there. But it's group 3 soil SC slopes, it's 60,000. So you really only need like 30,000 square feet for these lots, lot size by soil type. The soil type on the plan is group 3. I didn't include the state plan with this because it's the town portion, but because I didn't want to confuse it, but I certainly can supply you with that. If you would like, we can make that a condition. I mean, they well exceed lot size by soil type, so I wasn't overly concerned with it, but we can certainly put a note on the plan to that effect, Roger. I thought we had that. Roger, would that satisfy your concern?
Yes,
All right,
for the moment.
okay. I do have a question about that, though.
Sure.
And we've talked about it before. One of the reasons is the soil type that's in the zoning right now, in the subdivision regulations. The soil types that are in the subdivision regulations don't match the current, soil requirements for the soil scientists. And so I've been using NRCS myself and a lot of the other consultants, which is the same as the state for lot sizing. We did used to require HIS in the zoning, but we took that out of there because it was pretty costly, and on some of the lot sizes it was more overkill than what we needed. So I have a kind of a general question for the board. These lots are fine, they're way well exceeded, but in the future, I didn't know I know that I had heard that you were asking some of the soils information on dealing with your open space, your cluster development regs, and I didn't know if you looked at them in the general subdivision regulations to see if they match current standards. I did ask a couple soils scientist people that I know, and they said you can use them, but they don't directly relate to the current numbering system and terminology. I'm a surveyor, so that's a little bit past me, but if you're going to require, we're going to require, and you're correct, lot sizing by soil type on the drawing, then we probably should pick something that we're sure, matches. It's not something that's overly necessary, but if for some reason you get really close on something, it's going to matter. So we should consider updating.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to bring it up in this, but since...
Can you give us something that shows us what you're talking about?
Yes.
We did make the change on the conservation subdivision ordinance.
They've been in there for a long time, and the trouble is if you try to match them to the NRCS or HIS or something, it doesn't quite work. So if you're going to have lot size by soil type per the section that you stated, then it kind of got to match what's out there right now, what they're calling that soil type right now. And I've had some trouble with that. I'm sorry I bring it up at this particular time.
Oh, no, I appreciate the advice.
Yeah, but I mean, if you can give us something that shows what you're talking about.
I planned on doing it.
You think you're not an expert.
I was asked by the former planner to provide something. I never got around to it, so I will. I just know that I've watched not only ours, but other consultants, and I've kind of seen how that's gone. And it's not really sliding by it, it's just not exactly correct, And if for some reason you get a lot that's going to be real tight, that's when it's going to matter. But so I will add lot size by soil type to the topo sheet. That sheet doesn't get recorded. One question I will ask is, do you want to see that sort of thing on the recordable sheet, on the flat plan that gets recorded? You see what I mean? Because normally that's put on the sheet with the soils information, like the test bits and so forth. And you can see that ends up being a pretty busy copy. That's normally where it's put. You guys see what I mean? So,
I think it would be helpful because it will show that we approved what we were supposed to approve.
So I think normally we put it on the sheet that has the soil stamp and the wetland stamp on it. It doesn't get recorded, but it's still, because it's part of the zoning requirement, like you just brought up.
Why doesn't it get recorded?
Because the topo sheets don't get recorded, the sheets with the topography, because the registry won't record them. It's too busy, it's too many lines over text and so forth. So the plan that gets recorded, Julie, is the flat plan that has the basic title information, bearings and distances and that kind of thing. It gets approved by you guys and it gets signed and put in the file at the town. It just doesn't get filed at the registry mostly because of the plat law. There's
you know, you can't have any shading, you can't have any lines touching text because of scanning. So that's why site plans don't get recorded, because they're so busy, you know. I guess maybe in some communities they do that, but I don't know how they get it by the registry, you know.
Technology's really good now.
Huh?
Technology's really good now.
Yeah, the technology's good, but it's all about them scanning it, you know. And even though you could scan it at your place, or I could scan it at my place, it doesn't always good enough for them.
Or they could get the electronic version like everybody else.
Yeah, well, that's what's coming, I think.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
more accurate.
Yeah. So we will add that to that. Does anybody have any questions about the little easement? We could only show it on the land that obviously this woman owns. And there's a little piece that on an abutting property, but Barry was happy with that. Like I say, the only other thing is we got to set the new property corners and add the soils information and lot sizing.
Randy, how old are these septic systems that exist?
The septic systems are 70s.
The 70s?
Yeah, mid to late 70s, the best I could tell from the town information.
And
So that's why we had to do a test pit and show our own, you know, test pit information on there. On the state plan, again, this is something that I've wrestled with a little bit. So the town requires certain things on their existing features plans. The state requires a little bit different on theirs as far as some of the information. So years ago, we've had to do the town flat plan, the town existing conditions plan. Then we have another plan in our thing that's NHDES plan. What ends up happening is a lot of that information gets sent to DES, but sometimes it doesn't get put on the town topo plan, which is what happened here. And that shows stuff like a 4K area for the state, and if there's wells and different stuff like that. The town has similar requirements, but not exactly the same. So in this case, if we don't have systems approved that are newer than 20 years old, Vaughn, then we got to do our own test pit. That's why we had to do our own test pit on each lot to prove what we had.
So in the case of failure, you can show that you could put a new system there.
Right, in this case, it's going to get state approval for each lot for subdivision, maximum 4-bedroom septic system. And again, with town water, you know, it simplifies it greatly. If you had on-lot wells, then your on-lot wells would have to be, your radius would have to be subtracted from the area, and then you got to see if it meets the slot size by soils. That's why in this case, I say it's a no-brainer, because it really is, because 50% reduction in the lot size of municipal water. You have to get a letter from the town, which we did in this case, from the water department that says that both lots will be provided town water. The state requires that. But, so if these people, let's say we didn't get state subdivision approval, maybe we snuck by, okay? Someday they go to put a septic system on the lot, the state's gonna ask for either something proving it was pre-67 or a state subdivision approval number before they'll grant the septic design. You see what I mean? So that's the way it comes up in the future. That's why you have to get that's why you have to get state subdivision approval, even if both lots are already developed, even if they're not virgin lots. You still got to get it if it's under 5 acres. So if it's a failed system, they're still going to ask you for either the subdivision approval, or on the application, you got to say this lot existed pre-67. Now, some people put that anyway, but that's the correct way of doing it.
And this land, it slopes down toward Middleton Road?
Yes.
And is there a ridge in the back, and then it slopes down again toward
Yeah,
West Pond?
if you look at the last plan, the plan of the whole property, well, it doesn't have topo on that one, but we do have topo. Yes, it goes up to a ridge. There's couple of old quarries up there, and that's on past where the back of the 5-acre lot is, Vaughn. It goes up further past that. Because I actually was the one out in the field on this. And there was some old quarries up there, way up in the back, that we used to cut the granite for some of the culvert crossings and stuff. Yeah. So the little area that I got highlighted in yellow is when this 5-acre lot was created in 2016. That's why I included it. And it also shows the right-of-way. Remember the first time we had, where does that right-of-way go? That's where it goes. Because couldn't remember if it was Rusty Lane or how that fit together, even though I did it. But that's where the right-of-way goes. Our client isn't planning on using that, but it still exists.
Any other questions from the board?
No waivers were requested, and you do meet the form factor.
Yep. If you look in the front, there's a note on there that shows form factor before and after. Can you see it? It should be.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, right there and right there. And again, this gets up to 23. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to accept this application as complete.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No? All right. Any public comment? Hearing none, we'll close we'll open the public comment. Hearing none, we'll close it. Thank you. Any further discussion amongst the board?
If not, I'll make a motion to approve this application.
Second.
I would like
You want me
to,
to go through the conditions?
could we add a condition that references the plan?
Say that again, Roger?
I'd like to add a condition that references the plan that we are approving, the title and the date, so that we know what we have actually approved.
Roger, how would you like to word that condition?
Well, we're going to have a revised plan, I believe, with that additional information.
The topography plan would be revised, but the base plan that's going to get recorded would remain the same. So the title block's going to remain the same.
Okay.
And you can use the same plan number however you want to do it. Usually, I just got the plan to review on my phone, so I didn't get a chance to make a copy of it. But usually that says, I haven't seen, I don't have it with me, but yeah, usually it says, right, plans incorporated. It doesn't? Okay.
No, I like what Rob and Matt did, where I proposed that we approve the subdivision plan of 116 Middleton Road, Wolfeboro, Carroll County, New Hampshire, for Debbie Orloff, dated August, by Norway Plains Associates, Inc., dated August 2024.
Okay, so that's condition number 1.
Well, that would be either condition of what we're approving.
Yeah, okay, well, okay, other conditions, the plans
right?
should be amended to cite the impervious coverage of the remaining parent lot. Per the plan, the lot coverage is maxed out at 30%. No additional build-out shall be allowed, and please add that note to the plans. The applicant shall submit a final plan to the Office of Planning and Development for review prior to recording. The applicant shall submit final plans and a Mylar plan for recording at the Carroll County Registry of Deeds. The applicant shall be responsible for the payment of all recording fees. All of the documentation submitted in the application package by the applicant and any requirements imposed by other agencies are part of this approval unless otherwise updated, revised, clarified in some manner, or suspended in full or in part. Superseded, sorry. In the case of conflicting information between documents, the most recent documentation and this notice herein shall be generally be determining. Condition 7, the applicant shall be responsible for monumentation and update plans, including original stamps and signatures from an LLS, CWS, and other applicable licensed professionals. A surveyor is to submit a signed letter to the planning department saying that the new lot corner monuments have been set, and then the appeal process.
Randy, didn't you tell us that, give us a figure for the lot coverage on the smaller lot?
We don't have the figures on the plan. We can add them.
Right.
The figure for the smaller lot was 15%. The figure for the large lot was 5%.
But I don't think, so that means I don't believe the condition number 2 is correct.
What was,
The condition number 2 says that the lot coverage is maxed out at 30%, but that does not appear to be accurate.
yeah, I guess they mean, no, it's not maxed out at 30%. I think they're trying to say it can only be maxed out at 30%, maybe?
But the next sentence says no additional build-out shall be allowed, and that's not accurate.
That's not accurate. And one of the reasons is because we didn't have the coverage on there, because we don't normally put the coverage on these kind of things. It's fine, we can do it.
Okay, well, maybe in the future you need to.
Yeah. But we can certainly add percent coverage on, but again, most of the lots aren't built on. This one, they're both built on, so we can do it.
Okay.
But like we had that conversation a couple of weeks ago with a lot that was gonna be built on, remember? And we didn't know really, all you can say is you can't max out the coverage, But in this case, Roger's right, it's not maxed out. We'll add the 5% on the 4-acre lot, existing coverage on the 1-acre lot, 15%, and you can adjust the conditions accordingly, I guess.
So Kathy, would you like to amend your motion?
Well, this condition can say that per the plan, lot coverage is maxed out at 30%. That's an accurate statement.
Yeah.
Well, should it say the lot coverage shall not exceed 30%?
Okay.
For zoning.
Because it's not maxed out yet.
No,
That's
but
what Roger's saying.
But if it was, it could
Is
not
this
go
even a
over
condition?
30%, but whatever.
Sorry?
Is this even a condition?
We're-
Conditions is supposed to be special things off to the side, right?
Right, and I agree.
This is just like boilerplate.
We're
blah, blah, blah.
doing what the planner has asked us to do, so that's where I'm coming from.
There's a note, right, Kathy, that you were wanting to put on there that says you can't max it out 30%?
Yeah.
And that'll be on the NOD. Yeah.
I mean, you can put that under your zoning requirements, put maximum lot coverage 30%.
So in this case, Kathy, do you agree that the condition should read that lot coverage shall not exceed 30%?
Yep, right,
All right.
that's fine.
Any other conditions? All right, hearing none, I'll second Kathy's motion. Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any
Okay,
opposed?
And then the findings of fact just really need to say that this meets all of the subdivision requirements.
Did we include a condition that receipt of state subdivision approval?
Yeah.
Sure. I think the town
Yeah,
gets a
we
copy
did the
anyway, but
Office of Planning
we can
and
provide one.
Development.
Yeah, I think you guys get one anyway, but, yeah,
Yeah, that's condition 3 here.
that's
Right.
fine.
It's already in there. All right. I think we're done.
Thank you.
All right, the next item on the agenda is boundary line adjustment for Christopher and Jody Clausen and Nathan Dickey, 100 and 108 New Garden Road, tax map 246-2 and 247-1-1, case 2024-10. This is the formal submission and public hearing.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Will McDuff. I'm with Norway Plains for the applicant. Like you said, it's boundary line adjustment between Christopher Clausen, Jody Clausen, and Nathan Dickey. The site's located at 100 and 108 New Garden Road. Nathan Dickey owns tax map 246, lot 2. It's a 5-acre lot, and we're proposing to take 2 acres of that and add it to tax map 247, lot 1-1, owned by Christopher and Jody Clausen. Their lot's currently 3.084 acres, so we're proposing to bump that up to 5.084 acres. Both lots have existing dwellings, outbuildings, both have private wells and septics. So that's why we're asking for a couple of waivers. I believe you guys got a topographic plan, correct?
I did not.
You did not, okay. We have that, I can submit it after the fact.
I have it in my package. I don't know.
Yeah, I had one.
You have one?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
No, it's on a separate.
So we had originally had that as one of the waivers that we were going to request, but we're going to scratch that one. The other 2 waivers we were looking for were 174-7.d.5, which was location of groundwater, perk tests and those test results, as well as 174-7.6, which is soil mapping types / slopes and boundaries, including location of soil tests. Like I said, both lots have existing septics and wells on site. So that was the reason for, and we're not proposing any further development at this point. So that was the reason for those waivers. Over here. So on the back of this, these are the lots as they exist currently. And then this is what we're proposing to switch them to. I think that's all I have for the presentation, so if there's any questions, I can certainly answer them.
Looks like I did receive the topo. It was hiding in some other papers.
Ah, okay.
Okay, and this did go to TRC, and it does meet the form factors.
Correct. I think the largest form factor goes up to about 26.
All right, any questions from the board before we open the public hearing?
Yeah, make a motion to accept this application as, well, first of all, I guess we have to grant the waiver. So I'll make a motion to grant the proposed waivers based on the justification of the applicant.
I'll second that motion. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right,
Okay,
waivers are granted.
And I'll make a motion to accept this application as complete.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. The application is complete. We'll open the public hearing. Would anybody like to speak to this? All right, hearing none, we'll close the public hearing. Any further discussion from the board?
I just have one comment. I would hope that, I believe it's the Clausens, if you could pay a little more attention to your boundaries. You've got a chicken coop over the line. You've got a garden that's about on the line. And you've got a building behind the chicken coop which doesn't meet the setback requirements. And you may have exceeded the limit for accessory structures on the lot, but I didn't check that. And I know you've got a lot going on there because I happened to drive by going someplace else. The one on the right, that was a failure of the planning department.
All right, there's no further discussion. Would anybody like to make a motion?
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve this application based on the following conditions. The following plans as amended by the planning board approval are incorporated into the approval. And it goes over, do you want me to read Plan 1 and Plan 2? Can we just take that?
We'll take it from the planner's review.
Okay. And condition 2, the applicant shall submit a final plan to the Office of Planning and Development for review prior to recording. The final approved and reviewed boundary line adjustment plan shall be recorded at the Carroll County Registry of Deed for RSA 676:3 within 6 months of the approval date. Failure to comply with this requirement shall render the boundary line adjustment approval null and void. Condition 4, the applicant shall be responsible for the setting of the monument, the submittal of the certificate of monumentation and updating the plan sets including original stamps and signatures from the LLS, and licensed septic designer. Condition 5, the applicant shall be responsible for the payment of all recording fees. And condition 6, all of the documentation submitted in the application package by the applicant and any requirements imposed by other agencies are part of this approval unless otherwise updated, revised, or clarified in some manner, or superseded in full or in part. In the case of conflicting information between documents, the most recent documentation and this notice herein shall generally be determining. That's the end of the conditions.
I'll second that motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay, and the findings of fact, again, would be that this application complies with all of the required subdivision regulations.
All right, thank you.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, the next item on the agenda is approval of minutes. We have the minutes from September 17th, 2024. Anybody have any amendments or corrections to the minutes? Come on, Roger.
Yeah, Roger.
I think I've fallen down the job here.
All right, I guess we're not going to have any, so
Okay, well, I make a motion to approve the minutes.
very good. I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Very good. Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Right, second.
Kathy seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, none? Very good, thank you.
See, that was